What up, people? My name is Louis Lee from All Lens Media, and this is Playing in Traffic, where we all hang out and talk car stuff. Anybody in the chat room, we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, and Twitch. So if anybody wants to comment, it'll all show up over here in our chat room. So if you have any questions or you have any ideas that we could, that we can put forward towards Playing in Traffic, please do so. We got the fellas in the house. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
Oh, hang it out.
We got a wide tire back there. How big is that tire, John?
22 and a half inches wide, and it's 33 and a half inches tall.
That's a big boy.
Biggest street legal
John,
tire
did you
you
flip
can
around
buy.
tonight?
Yeah, because I cleaned the garage today after I got done working on the roll bar on the car. I had like a pile of tools on my workbench and pieces of steel, and I'm like, cutting and bending tubing for the car, and you start out with something big and then you cut it down to whatever size you need. So I had all these like stubs, and a lot of times I'll use the stubs, a short piece, to figure out the angle that I need to cut the tubing at, with a notcher. Which it's always great because you can just go in there and, I have some tools that I use for like measuring angles.
I got one of those.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
And I'll make a cut with my tubing notcher, and then go put it and see if it's good. Do I need to take more out of the heel? Do I need to take more out of the toe? What's going on? And, you can use these stubs that you're basically going to throw away to kind of get you where you need to be. And two of the tubes I put in today were difficult because it's a real steep. It's about a 56-degree angle to the main hoop, and then it goes down and it meets the lower cross member and the frame rail. So you got like almost like a 90-degree cut in two directions.
Oh yeah.
In order to, because it's coming in almost at a 45, but the roll bar slopes inward at the bottom. So even if the tube is at 45 degrees, which it's pretty close to that, the cut where the tube meets the roll cage is at like almost 56 degrees or something like that.
You should just use PVC.
Yeah.
Just heat it up and bend it. Just heat it.
Yeah, heat it and bend it and hack it and whack it.
Just glue it together.
Got to use real steel. There's no way around
steel. It's all right. Just do a little patina.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've seen that at the drag strip.
Oh, really?
A couple of guys, years and years ago got caught doing, PVC roll bars and then painting them.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Safety first, man. Safety first.
There's no safety in that.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Papa Score, you want to jump in?
Speaking of safety, a former customer of mine, I actually built his very first car, a 55 Chevy for Gary Cordier. And he was in Maryland at the Yellow Bullet Nationals, and he crashed. It was a horrible crash. There's some video of it floating around. He was in the left lane, and we're talking about 5-second, quarter mile pro mod cars. So they're running 8th mile at this race. So they're all they're in the 3s and 4s. And the car was drifting to the wall. And he got off it through the parachutes. The track is a quarter mile track. So the scoreboards are at the quarter mile mark. Mm-hmm. And after that, there's like an emergency turn off. Like if you break down early on the track, you can kind of just glide and get off the track right after the scoreboards. So he was in the left lane, and the car was getting dangerously close to the wall. He got out of it. He threw the parachutes out. One chute hit first. The second chute hit late. And then all of a sudden, the car made a hard right turn.
Whoa.
And it darted across the track to where
Oh.
that opening was. So he didn't hit the wall square head on. He hit the edge of the wall.
Oh, ouch.
Where the opening was.
So kind of think about like driving into a telephone pole
Yeah.
like that. And we're talking about those concrete Jersey barriers. And he was going somewhere in the vicinity of about 170 or 180 miles an hour.
Wow.
So he hit that. And all of these cars that they build now, because we started doing this in the 90s, the fuel cells are in the front. There's just like an 1.25 inch tube surround around it, which really doesn't protect it. It just kind of holds it in position. And you're talking carbon fiber nose, which weighs just a few pounds. And they use the smallest of tubing to support that nose and attach it to the frame. So you're talking 3/8 to 1/2 inch chromoly, lightweight 049 wall, or some of these guys are going to titanium to save even more weight. So that nose just caves in instantly. The fuel cell exploded. When the car hit, it went up like this. And you can see in the video, the parachutes are about 20 feet in the air.
Wow.
And it came down back on the track on the roof. And they got to him. He was completely unconscious. And then they said he woke up. And then the next thing you know, like 10 minutes later, he's still not out of the car because the car is upside down. And then a helicopter comes in. They life flighted him to the hospital. So it turned out he got away lucky. He's got a concussion and a bunch of bruises. Good. But with the way he hit, I mean, he told me he paid Jerry Bickle. I think that was about a $96,000 or $97,000 car, not including the motor, which is a Pat Musey motor. So it's so wadded up. There's nothing usable at all. I don't think. I haven't actually seen any photos of the car yet, but he needs to walk away now because this is the second time he's wrecked a Pro Mod.
Really?
Yeah. About 3-4 years ago, he had a nitrous explosion, and the whole front of the car went on fire. And by the time they got to him, got him out of the car and everything, it was pretty much beat to hell. They were able to rebuild that car because there was no frame damage. It was body damage and flames and stuff. But, it's just not good.
Well, at least he made it out.
Yeah, the thing that stinks is it was broadcast live.
Really?
So I'm sitting here watching, and this was final qualifying on Saturday night, like around 9:00. And he comes up, and I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" And what are you going to do? You got to just sit there and watch your computer screen and listen to what the announcer has to say.
Yeah.
I couldn't get through to the guy for like 2 days. He was in the hospital. But he's home now, and he says he's all right.
Good.
He's just hurting. So
good.
crazy.
Hey, Ray, congratulations on your daughter graduating.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, they just did a virtual. They're going to have something in Central Park in a couple of weeks, but now they just did the whole virtual thing on. I watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was a live stream. Yeah.
Hey, did you have her bags on the porch?
No. No, we always encourage the kids. They can stay as long as they want. I'm not going. They don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I like having them around.
That's the safe way. Yep.
That's cool.
Well, I got plenty of friends who want to kick their kids out because of the relationship. But I happen to be very fortunate to have good kids that I like having around, and they kind of like being around us too. So we're in good shape that way. So
Good.
it's a blessing.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, do you get the hot weather like we are in Massachusetts today and yesterday?
It was warm yesterday. It
82.
It was warmer yesterday than it was today. It was nice today. It was beautiful. It's gonna be nice getting tomorrow. They said something about almost 90 on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what it says. 90 on Sunday here.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's nice. It's been nice.
It's coming.
Yeah.
We're heading for a heat wave. They said today.
Yeah.
It was like high 90s.
Well, you're in Florida, though. It's always hot
Last week.
down there.
Today was like 86, but we're like for the last 3-4 days, it's been crazy windy here.
Yep.
It's like nuts.
I can't
And
account
then,
for that.
Yeah, right. And
I have a
then,
feeling it's gonna be a hot summer.
next
Yeah.
week they said it's going to be over 100 for a few
Wow.
days.
I rode my bike yesterday, and man, I had to come home. It was too hot.
Really?
I was
Yeah.
overheating. Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
I
You
know
know,
bike can
speaking of
overheat.
that, for a minute, John, I thought you had a drag bike sitting there. I thought that was a slick from a drag bike, and
Right?
the welder looks like the tank, the gas tank.
Yeah, it does.
You got a
Yeah,
different
I
angle
had
going
a-
on tonight.
Had to bust out the Heliarc today to tack weld some stuff.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
making
roll bar's
progress.
looking good.
oh yeah, I got the roll bar in and did the diagonals down to the frame,
Nice.
and I'm ready to tomorrow. I got the day off tomorrow. I'm
You
gonna
got a
do
good boss.
put the sides of the tubs up onto the chassis
Right.
so I can figure out the height, and then I have to start doing what they call a tub hoop,
Uh-huh.
which is the bars that come off the main hoop and go over the top of the tubs.
Yeah.
And then once I get those in, then I'm going to be putting in what they call a flying X brace, which is in between the two tub hoops, which are at the far outskirts of the hoop. Then you do an X, and then there's a couple bars have to go into the trunk.
I always thought that was the one that said nobody in the back.
Nobody in the back. Yeah, well, not with this car.
No.
Especially the way I got it set up. You can't get, there is no room for a back seat. There's too much
Can't
chassis.
get there from here.
Even with a stock seat, you can't.
No, not at all. You know, and you saw the way I put the main hoop in. The main hoop is literally where the back seat should be.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm hiding things.
That's cool.
It'll look good. I'm kind of glad I did it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the side, you won't even know that this car's got a roll bar in it.
Yeah. I agree. That's
All
gonna look
right.
slick.
Who's getting rated?
Not me.
Not me.
Not me.
Brian.
It's me in the big city.
All right.
Oh, it's Brian. Yeah.
Brian, you're in the truck tonight.
Yeah, I got nine boxes of from my stock order, and 2 carts, 3 floor jacks, and a box and a repair drawer for a toolbox. So it's all in the driveway. I'm trying to unload back in the truck.
And as everybody can see, I do have the new Matco shirt, but this is the
Yep.
best part right here.
That's cool. I want one.
All right. Hey, Matco
I'll take a
man.
medium.
I'm gonna open a store up here. I'm gonna open up a Matco man t-shirt store.
Yeah.
Do
But I'll
that.
tell you something. My wife swooped in like a vulture and grabbed one. She goes, "I want that one." I'm like, "All right, good, you got it."
Hey Ray, I'm glad you got it, and I'm sorry. I know you only got part of it,
That's okay.
but we got going, and like I said, we were originally going to drive down, but because of all the gas situation, and so Jenny ended up finding tickets, and we left we had to be at BWI 3:30 in the morning because we caught the first flight out, you know.
I hate that airport.
And so I'm like, I got to get this thing off to Ray. I got to get this thing off. So it was like 1:45, and I'm dumping stuff in the box, and I'm like, and I was throwing stuff. And then later when I got back, I was like, there's 2 things here on the floor. You know, I was like, oh, God.
Now, did you have your daughter take that to the post office?
To UPS, yeah.
Because I tell you, I got home, I pulled on the block when the truck was just leaving. So we did a little standoff, and I'm like, oh, good, got a big box. What the hell is that? That was thank your daughter for me. Because I told my wife, I said, Brian had his daughter take this thing to UPS. It's big and it's heavy. It's like, this wasn't easy. You
Yeah,
know?
I had like 8 or 9 repairs, and I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff that needed to go out, and it was just crazy.
I'll tell you the irony of the whole thing. You know, I had said to you to get the other guy's stuff out first because John was really barking for his mat, and I know Derek wanted his ratchet. I get down to the shop, and it was great because I got this stuff. I went down to the shop, and I'm like, hey, I gave John the mat. He was really happy. And I said, where's Derek? Derek got his second COVID shot, and he got sick. So he went home. And now he's going to Guyana for like 2 weeks. I'm like, no, and I got his ratchet. It's like, if I would have been there like an hour earlier,
Yeah.
you know, I would have given it. I'm like, it figures, you know, it really figures. But
You need to. I didn't have a battery for that. I didn't have
no, I
a
don't
battery.
think I probably didn't send you the battery with it. It just sent you
Yeah.
the tool.
So I just wanted to make sure it worked. I mean, I know I beeped the springs up in it and tweaked the plate. So he should have, because you said something like it never had power in the first place, or it was kind of skipping on him or whatever. But
maybe I was toward the end. I think it was starting to skip.
But but that one was okay because the heads start to spread apart. And
what Brian's talking about is he rebuilt a battery powered Milwaukee ratchet for a guy at the shop. That's the tool he's talking about. But you know, this thing is going to be. I can't wait to use this.
the wrench extender.
Yeah, and I like to have like a cardboard wrench in here, you know, and you could put a breaker bar in the end, which is really cool. Now I just watched a video. Vim Tools came out with one of these. It's round and they have a plastic handle on it, a flexi handle. But
yeah,
this thing's a weapon, man. I mean, if I ever
and
got
that's the small one.
Jeez.
That card on the end, it looks like a spatula.
Well, yeah, that's actually a wrench. Yeah, and you can hang it from that. It's got so you can hang it on a hook. Yeah.
See this one. This is the one you had, and then this one.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is and then they got one other one. It's even longer. It's about another 4 inches.
Jeez.
But
so how does it grab the wrench?
I don't know if you can see, but like this car, this is the wrench.
Yeah.
Here's the open end of the wrench, and it's these 2 fingers that are here.
So it's just giving you more leverage.
Okay,
Yeah, you just slide the wrench in, and then you use this as your leverage point. So it makes your wrench that much longer.
Instead of taking a wrench on a wrench, that makes it more safer.
Right.
It's not going to slip off on you.
Exactly.
How much is something like that?
Well, watch, Brian will show you right there.
$100.
For they're all about the same price.
They go for the small one starts out at 100, and then it's like 130 and 157 for the real long one.
That's cool.
But
that's a neat little tool.
It is.
A lot of guys like them for like doing front end alignments or whatever, because when they get the wrench on there, they just need a little bit more, and it's got that slight bend here so that it holds the wrench. Everything stays in line. Some of the cheaper ones will be straight. So when you put the wrench in there, it's already at an angle. So when you're pushing on it, you get everything kind of out of angle.
There's been a couple different companies that have made them over the years.
If you're working on something, like on some cars, trying to crack the nuts on the ball joint is a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
So having that extra leverage, you could work from further out, and break that nut loose.
Exactly.
Hey, Brian, did you get my text the other day?
Yeah, on the Matco. You can see the difference in the size.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
See, this one's still.
Yeah.
No, Matco. It would take 3 or 4 years before Matco even starts doing anything like that. They're so deep in the NHRA and Antron's new team coming next year.
Really?
They really don't do much sponsorship outside of that.
Okay.
It's good that they've been with Antron for a long time.
Yeah, he started out on motorcycles.
Yeah, that's a good deal that he brought to Schumacher.
Yep. When we first took on with Antron, or Antron was part of our spokesman, he was on a bike, and they asked him what he really wanted to do, and he said he wanted to drive a dragster, and they got him through and did, and now 3-time champ later, he's going to start his own team next year.
Cool.
I'm gonna have him on the show. I talked to him about coming on, so we'll get him.
Nice.
On.
Oh yeah,
that's super nice guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I'll tell you. Maybe I'll wait till the story when he comes on. But Anton knows me pretty well. I mean, play around. But it was,
Ooh,
I don't
excuse me.
know how many years ago, but we were at one of our conventions, tool expos, and the whole group, we were all having a group dinner. And oddly enough, I'm in the little boys' room, and I get done, and here comes Antron. I'm walking out, and Antron's walking in. And I was like, holy crap. I said, hey, Antron, when you get done, come see me. And he was like, okay, whatever, you know. And so, so the place is packed, and he's like waiting to get a table to go eat, you know.
Yeah.
And there's like in my district at that time, there was like 24 of us or whatever. So 24, 28, and we got, you know, all the family members there, you know, wives and kids and so forth at this big table. And of course, the end chair's empty. That was where I was sitting. So I tell Antron, I said, hey, Antron, the very end chair, I said, the girl, a lady next to it's my wife. I said, just go on over there and start talking to her, you know, because at that time, our jingle was Get Down with Brown. And so every time it came on, Jenny kept talking about getting down with Brown, you know?
Oh, boy.
And, so,
once she goes black, she won't go back.
yeah, I know. The funny part was, also, Antron walks in. Everybody's like, you know, watching, eating. He just walks over, calm, cool, and collective, sits down, puts his arm around Jenny and starts talking to him, you know? And everybody at the table's like, oh my God, what's going on? So I wait about, you know, 2-3 minutes, and I walk in and I said, Antron, I told you to leave my old lady alone. And everybody's like looking around like, what the hell's going on? I tell you, he's a good guy. He's a real good person.
He's
awesome. And like I said, he takes care of us distributors real good. So
how was the expo,
great
Brian?
guy. Huh?
How was the expo?
It was okay. I mean, considering there's, you know, close to 2,000 of us, and there was probably only about 400 people there.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Well, everybody
one time.
Everybody up north didn't come. I mean, because of, you know, because it wasn't clear on about the quarantine when you get back, like in New York and Pennsylvania. And
I haven't heard anything about that in months.
Yeah, well, a lot of people canceled because of that. And then once it was okay, you know, they couldn't re-register for it. And a lot of people said they weren't going to take off, you know, couldn't afford 2 weeks quarantine. And so that was on that part. And like I said, my district or our region, there was probably only 100 people there from our region.
That's more goody bag for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, like I said, and there was a lot of vendors missing. A lot of vendors didn't show up. But I got to see Luke from Easy Red.
Right.
And he took me and Jenny out to lunch one day. So we had a good time and hung out. And
good.
The guys from Lyle, Eddie Lyle wasn't there.
Okay.
But the other two guys, and the guy kept staring at my name tag, you know, Brian from, you know, and it has, you know, Maryland. And he goes, man, do you know a guy, hey, Maco Man Brian? And I'm like, that's me.
I met him once or twice.
And
World famous.
He's like, man, we heard what you said on Motormouth. Man, you're great. Eddie was how excited, man. That was a great time we had all. So
excellent.
Good. Where's my free stuff?
Yeah. And actually, it was funny because I was like, I had an issue with some tap sockets.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I got 2 sets of these things. And I said, I didn't really want to start a big buzz, but I kind of know somebody in the company. That's what I said. I got somebody there.
Right. I know a guy.
And he goes, and of course, you know, they kind of just like roll their eyes at me for a minute. And of course, then when they told me, but when they showed me that, unfortunately, our taps are not industry standards.
Really?
That's why they don't fit, because these are industry standard cut, and the taps aren't. So
yeah, see, my Lyle tap sockets fit all of my taps because I bought all my taps that I bought left hand, right hand. I bought years ago from MSC.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the
I bought a
difference?
huge amount of them. Everything that I need from like 432 all the way up to 1 inch.
Besides
Yeah,
the fact that some don't fit, what's the difference in the industry standard?
Well,
It's the shank.
It's the shank and the square cut.
Okay. Well, yeah.
And these are all because when they go, because this, see, this tap is this one. See
What's
here.
that? Like a half 20 or 7/16? That's a big tap.
18 by a half. You're pretty good, Ray.
Yeah.
For
Well, I know
being
my
on
taps and dies. I was a machinist.
Yeah.
It's installed in your head, huh?
Yeah, you can just see it. It's like hardware. Like, oh yeah, it's a 1/4 20. Yeah, it's an 832.
When he closes his eyes, he sees that chart. That tells you the drill size.
You're right. And I have them everywhere. They're in the garage. They're
Tattooed inside his eyelids.
Yeah, every place. I have one in the phone.
Let me tell you something. That is one of the handiest posters any car guy or machinist can have.
But you know what? And John, I'll tell you something. God's honest truth. I can't tell you how many people, mostly, well, some older guys too, but most young guys, I've actually tutored people and taught them how to read that chart. Because like my buddy at the shops kept saying he bought a Snap-on tap and die set. And I was yelling at him. I'm like, what are you fucking out of your mind? Like, what did that tap and die set cost you? You know, it was like
a lot of money.
I said, dude, you didn't have to do that. I said, they don't make the taps and dies. So regardless, he said, well, he told me the deal said everything is, he'll replace it for life. I said, okay. So what taps have you broken? And I said, I guarantee you every tap you've broke has been under a 1/4 inch, under a 1/4 20. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'll tell you why. I'm like, because you don't know how to tap a hole. I said, I know you don't know how to tap a blind hole.
Oh, not using oil.
So we talked about he didn't realize that there was a specific size hole to make before you tap it.
Right. Yeah.
The tap drill chart. And once I showed him that, I'm sure he forgot it, but now at least he knows he can go back and look it up.
Right.
Um,
and the good thing about having that chart is depending on like from a machinist's end, what kind of thread fit are you looking for?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, you can make them where they're a little on the tight side to have, real super tight tolerance. You could step up to maybe a letter drill and wind up with a relatively sloppy fit.
Mm-hmm.
And that chart, it tells you everything. And when I had the chassis shop, I got a bunch of those charts from MSC, and we had one in front of every single workbench.
Yeah.
It's something you need to have.
The other thing is,
I need to get one.
If you look in any motors manual or Chilton manual, in the front or the back, it'll be printed. There'll be a full page tap drill chart. It's in there.
Yeah, in our old catalogs, we used to have that in the old catalogs, and about somewhere in the mid 2000s that was missing. And I told the guys in the catalog department, I said, what happened to that chart? And they said, who uses that chart? And I said, anybody. I said, obviously you don't have a girlfriend. Because you ain't drilling right.
John, you would laugh at that. It was just about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I was wearing a shirt that I didn't normally wear, or a jacket or something. I'm like, I always check the pockets. And what do I pull out? But a plastic tap drill chart out of the pocket. I'm like, oh, good. Put that back in there.
Yeah. I have a couple of them in the toolbox, and then I have a
you know what? Now you said that, I've just seen one in my toolbox the other day.
But the thing is, here's my missive. If you have one and know how to use it, teach somebody else how to use it, because guys just don't know. They're really blind to that. They weren't. I mean, there's no more shop class, but so I make that my. We had the guys there was a guy at my job who he took over from the physical plant, which takes care of all the facilities. And he would always come over and he would borrow veneer calipers from me. And we have student ones. So I'd say, yeah, just take it and keep it. And he'd come back. Yeah, somebody took mine. Can I have it? Yeah, take another one. Well, then he got promoted. So he was the guy in charge of everybody. And he came over one day and he asked me for another veneer, and I gave it to him. And we're talking. And he says, "Listen," he says, "can you show me how to really use this thing?" All he was doing was like using it as a scale. He would measure something and then measure something else. He was using it like a caliper, really, just a measuring caliper. So I said, "Okay, here we go." And then and that went into tap drills, and he didn't know any of that stuff. And then the biggest problem was he didn't understand fraction to decimal. I'm like, "You missed that part in math class." I said, you got to be able to go fractions to decimal in your head, and if not, at least you have to have a reasonable, parameter where you can, that an eighth isn't up at an inch. You got to know kind of where things fall in.
Yeah.
So I sat there like over an hour with this guy, just tutoring him, and he's like, "You know what? Thanks." He says, "I was always afraid to ask." I was like, "Why would you be afraid?" He goes, "Well,
because one of the most important things, you got to know how to work on the other side of the decimal point.
Yeah, very true.
Three digits over at least.
I was going to ask how many people actually know fraction.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I'm pretty good.
So
with that.
unfortunately, the company that now makes our taps are not industry standards, so that these squares and this shaft is not the same like it should be. So like when you're using a tool it doesn't fit properly.
Who makes the taps? Do you know?
I'm not going to go into that right
You're
now.
not going to say, okay, all right. I was going to say, when I show my buddy at the shop, I have taps here and I have taps there, and I showed him Sosner taps that I had in the machine shop 40 years ago. I said, "These things are over 40 years old." I said, "They still work. They still cut because I clean them and because I don't abuse them." I said, "So I didn't need a lifetime warranty on this stuff, because I had a boss that drilled it into me on how to use them." So
the company that used to make for everybody was Irwin.
Okay.
And Irwin made them for everybody. Us, Snap-on, Cornwell, they made them for everywhere. But when Stanley bought them, when Stanley Tools bought them out and made them exclusive to Mac, and changed that whole division. So of course that opened the doors to all the Chinese companies.
Yeah.
And that's so unfortunately that's what everybody's got now. Is I guess as long as you're putting together Chinese stuff, I guess using a Chinese tap is all right.
Yeah, right. I guess China to China is okay, but yeah.
I shouldn't be that way, but
well, you shouldn't, but it's okay. It's fine because it's true.
Yeah.
Brian, at that tool show, did you guys announce any new tools?
We had a few new things, some really big ones. The biggest one was probably our scanner.
What is that?
Brian's favorite new tool.
I
How
tell
do you mysteriously always have whatever right there at your desk?
Always.
It's called a Cracket.
Tell him, Brian. Well, let me get our biggest thing is that our scanners. Our scanner has increased so much more, but we also have like over 150 techs now online for helping fixing when you're calling with a scanner and so forth. So
right,
they're live with you. So that's one of the biggest problems. Guy says, "Hey man, I need a really good technician that can do this." And there's just not out there. Of course, you're not going to pay the guy. So for the subscription, you have all the factory information, scanners, and equipment, and a guy there walking you through how to fix a car now. So
can you call him at 2 a.m. like Jake from State Farm?
Yeah.
Well,
only if you're wearing
not
khakis.
Not that late, but
depends on what he's wearing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Only if he's wearing khakis.
Yeah. So, but that was one of the biggest. We got a few other. That Cracket thing was kind of funny. They were trying to explain. Everybody stood around that table scratching their head.
I didn't get to see really what it was, Ray.
What does it do?
It's a series. There's 6 of them in here, and it's like a wrench end, and it's got a couple of leverage holes, and it has a a 1/4-inch square at the end. If there's a nut or tell me if I'm doing this right, Brian. If there's a nut or a bolt that's hard to get at, you can't get at it with like a conventional socket. I don't know if you can't get it with a conventional socket. I don't know how you're getting this in there, but it's like they showed like if you put needle nose down in there or pliers, you would put this down in there and you could put a 1/4-inch drive on the end and turn it.
Yeah,
Or you
that'll
could
help
pump
give
it in the
leverage.
side like this and
Okay.
turn it.
So
Leverage
those raw metric?
There's these go from what's the size range here? There's metric and American.
Yeah.
Really? And there's how many in there?
There's 6.
That's it?
Brian,
I
I
think
got a
it's
question for you.
2 on
my-
each side, so 12.
My body guy, he posted a thing on Facebook. He was working on a Chevy pickup. You know how they have like they got like a hood scoop on the hood now on the new ones.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, he had to take the hood scoop off, and the thing had a stud that was like that long, and he had to weld 2 8mm sockets together
He didn't have the
in
long
order
socket.
to go up inside.
Extra deep socket.
They make them.
Watch,
Brian
he's
has
going
them.
to turn around with one.
Yeah,
John, the
right?
guys at the shop, the body guys all have those. They're long, deep sockets. Because you got to go through the bumper to get at some of the
Yes,
Don't they make a
yeah.
wrench? It's like a hollow wrench now, too.
Yeah, he
Well,
was
yeah.
like,
socket
what
is a
are
hollow
you
wrench.
kidding me?
Yeah.
So he took 2
Yeah.
8mm snap-ons and he TIG welded them together.
Yeah, you could do that, sure.
So
That works.
Do that.
obviously the stud, the drive. I think
Probably
he
could
was
have duct
using
taped them together if it's only an 8mm.
3/8 drive, and the stud went straight through the first one.
Right.
Into the second one. He was still
he
able to put
actually-
the ratchet on it. He actually welded them together.
Yeah, but did he drill the 1/4-inch part out so that it would straight through?
No, he was. I guess. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
not. I don't know how he did that, but he showed that he had to put 2 of them together. Then he showed a picture of the stud. The stud had to be like 3 inches long,
Yeah.
and it was like to hold a hood scoop on. What is that all about?
Yeah, it's
With
good.
an 8mm.
They could have used 3M adhesive tape.
Yeah. So
You know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be too easy,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So they make 8mm sockets that are like
Yeah.
super crazy
From
deep.
they do
Is this-
from 7 to 15, I
Oh,
think.
15. Wow. I thought there was like a set of 4 that the guys had over there that was like
Well, yeah, the new set's all the way. They have a newer set now. It's I think it's
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15 or something
Wow.
like that.
No,
I don't think they do
11's
11.
surprised.
right.
But yeah, those are I don't know, pretty long.
Yeah.
11mm, man. That's the 56 Chevy of
Yeah.
sockets.
Yeah. A lot.
We
It's
almost,
got-
we almost bought a 57 Chevy the other day.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
You should have did it.
I get a call from my wife. She's like, look at this 57 Chevy. There's a guy, he's just a few miles away from us. He's selling it. He wants like $3,500 for it.
Oh
It's
boy.
got 3,000 miles on it on a brand new motor. And I'm like,
Oh boy.
really?
Yeah.
So I get home, I take a look at the pictures. The thing looked like it was like a mustard primer,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this car has no shine to it. I go, it looks like it's in primer. So I call the guy up. She goes, well, I don't know. Even if we got to put a little bit of money into it, it'd be really cool. We could take to like Cars and Coffee. I was like, all right,
Right.
I'll call. So I call the guy up. He's like, wow, yeah, it's got a new crate motor in it, but the intake manifold's got a vacuum leak. And I'm like, this is a basket case. I'm not buying this. My wife's like, well, you should go look at it anyway. Maybe,
Well,
maybe
you
can get
never
it for
know.
like 2,500 or
It
something.
Hey.
could be just the stupidest thing,
Yeah,
that-
well, I called the next morning and turned out that he sold the car at 9 o'clock the night before for
Okay.
like $3,800 cash.
Oh wow.
So I was like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I got you want to talk about a car problem? I think it's a problem. I don't know. My Pontiac. I just
There's
did the
your
axle.
problem.
Yeah, there's my problem, right? I did did my axle seal, so I had to, of course, the rear end all apart, put it all back together, and while I had the wheels off, I said, okay, this year it's time for rear tires. I had a set of M&H Race Masters on there, 275,
for you right
57.
there.
Yeah, those are a little too wide. A little too wide.
Come on.
Never too wide.
To fit in the wheel well, yeah, it's too wide. So
Never too wide.
the 275 57 teens, and they fit perfectly. You put your hand between the lip and the tire, nice and wide. Well, the problem is like two tires made in that size: M&H Racemaster or Nittos. So
Go to Nitto.
well, right. And I wanted a street tire anyway. I didn't need the drag radial anymore. So I ended up, my buddy at Tire Town ordered me a set, $400 for two tires. So I said, listen, I said, can we change maybe the aspect ratio a little bit?
460 for one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then
Now you got to pay.
So, I mean, these tires, you know, the car is lowered and it did have a slight, I mean, just the slightest rake to the rear, but not even that bad. And the tires really filled the wells. And I noticed that, well, let me skip ahead. Since I took them off, I had them off the other day, and I brought them over to Tire Town and left them there. I said, good, when the tires come in a couple of days, here's mine, just swap them over and I'll come pick them up. So meanwhile, I went and put the old, I wanted to do a test. I put the old Rally 1 wheels back on the back of the car. They're 215/70 14s.
Yeah.
So they look stupid. They look like donuts.
And they're way under.
And they're way under.
Yeah.
But now the back of the car came down a little more. And I took a drive today. I took it up to my buddy's house, and the car drives different. The front end was before the front end. It was, I mean, you can't push on the fender. So it was very harsh on short bumps. And if I went over like washboard roads, the thing would kind of bounce on me almost.
Wow.
But, you know, I got like 910 pound per inch springs in the front of the car, QA1 shocks. Nothing is loose. Everything is new. I even talked to Doug at Global West because I have the whole front end in the car. He's got the same car that he road races. He goes, no, Ray, you got all the stuff I got. You got good tires in the front, and I don't get it. I'm like, I put a set of spacers in the front springs to raise them up a little more. Well, now with these smaller, shorter tires on the rear, the front end feels like a normal front end. And I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Could it be air pressure, maybe?
Different
You
angle.
know, it could be because
Well,
A bigger sidewall is going to be more cushioning, and a shorter sidewall is going to be stiffer.
I was running the M&Hs at 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And the front tires are
I run
244.
24, 25.
Yeah, I didn't want to go lower. The front tires are 245 50s, 17s. I run those at like 34 because of the short sidewall. You know, I want to protect the rim. So I'm waiting to see, like, you know, did I make a mistake and buy the same size again with these Nittos, or is maybe the Nitto going to be a stronger tire? I'm thinking maybe if I'm lucky, the rear tires were too compliant and throwing off the. I've never had this happen on a car. Never had it happen. So
Well, don't forget, every time you change the rake, you're changing your caster angle too.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking.
But it's not. I mean, it obviously had to change it because of the size of the tire, but it's not drastic. So I took wheel well measurements today. I measured all 4 wheel wells at the bottom of the arch, and I'll measure it again when I put the other tires on and see. But it's just the craziest thing. I took it out. I'm like, damn, the car feels totally different.
Where do you have the shocks set? You got the externally adjustable ones?
I do, and you know what? I was playing with that back and forth.
Should
And I
start
had
out with them like either fully loose or fully tight.
I had them fully loose in the
Click
beginning
around until you feel good.
because even fully loose, they were firm. Fully tight, I couldn't move them by hand.
Oh.
You know, I think at this point, I made a note. I think I have them up like 4 clicks in the front.
Right.
And
And then you said you put spring spacers in? Are those you put those rubber blocks between the coils?
No. I went right back. I went right back to Global West because I'm using their springs and their A-frames.
Yeah.
They make a billet spacer that goes below the spring.
Oh, okay. So you just
Remove
moved the spring seat.
Remove the spring, put the spacer in, put the spring back.
Okay, so you didn't change spring rate.
No, and that only gave me like a half inch. You know,
That's all.
so it's the damn weirdest thing. But I'm waiting to see what happens with these other tires. And son of a bitch.
Okay. I got a question for you guys. I need an alternator for the Cadillac. So does anybody have a chrome alternator? Because I'm hearing guys say that they get really hot.
They do.
They do. The
Chrome is an
keeps the
insulator.
heat in.
Yeah.
Valve
Get
covers
something
too.
that's polished aluminum.
Yeah, valve covers too will keep the heat in.
Yeah.
I don't run chrome stuff like that. I paint. I like the painted metal.
Chrome
Okay.
don't get
Well-
you home.
Right. And I have another sticker on my helmet that says, "Yeah, but it will get you laid." So the adjunct to it. But yeah, Lewis, you can polish it. You can polish it and look like chrome.
Okay.
Yeah, or just buy a polished aluminum alternator. Everybody makes them.
You might.
Yeah.
I'm
Go
thinking you
Summit Racing, you'll find anything you want.
And you want to
That's-
get one of those one wire self
No.
actuated.
No, you don't. You don't.
No,
No.
they don't
That's what I
kick in
got.
until you get the RPM up. Then they start charging.
Well, it depends on the
I
regulator.
don't know. It depends
The-
on who makes it.
Yeah, the
Well-
regulators that like Master Power, some of them have a much faster cut in, but I'm not a fan of the one wire.
I'm putting bass in it. Remember.
I think
You need
your
space.
car
Put a 200 amp alternator in there.
your car probably has a 12 SI in it, which is exactly the alternator I upgraded my car to. But you can go bigger. You can go to the newest style, like I call them the porcupine alternators. They're the Asian ones, but they're like 180 amp alternators, and they're even smaller than the Delcos.
All right.
I've seen pictures in magazines and at some of the car shows. I don't know how they do it, but a lot of these guys that are into these crazy stereo systems sometimes run dual alternators.
Yeah.
And I think what they're doing is they're isolating one alternator is for the car, the other one is strictly
amps.
for the audio stuff.
They'll have a separate battery or two separate batteries for one alternator, and the other runs the car.
Right.
Mhm.
If you're going to have hydraulics and all of this other stuff, you probably need to talk to people that do that on a regular basis. to see
Yeah.
what's
No, I'm
the
going
best
with
way
air
to
ride,
go.
but yeah, I'm going air, but
That doesn't try much.
yeah, I'm gonna put some bass in it. So
Yeah.
Any of those people that do like ambulances and conversions like that would be someone that
Yeah.
if you want to do a second alternator or who to get a good alternator. But I'm trying to remember, there was a couple companies in particular that people recommend on Facebook, and I can't remember.
That's back in the day of the Lease Neville, man. I used to rebuild those things. The ambulance alternators, they were gigantic.
yeah. We have a company here. When I used to do stereo competitions in the 80s, we used to take them to a company in the next couple towns over. So I might stop in there one day and see what best route to go.
We got a company here up north from Tampa called Emergency One.
Okay.
They make fire trucks and ambulances and stuff. It's awesome. You go past a big giant place, and you go by there, and outside on these like display pads, you'll see these like state-of-the-art fire trucks and ambulances on display as you drive by. The place is cool. It's a good name for a company, Emergency One.
My niece's husband actually does. He works for the fire districts, and he does either the retrofit or a department will order a new truck, and then he adds all the stuff, all the extra stuff that they want.
Yeah,
There's some crazy stuff.
There's a place on Long Island, out east, kind of like in the middle of the island. I forget the name of the place. Guy named Hanratty, that's his last name, owns the company. That's what they do.
That.
He's a drag racer.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
And I forget the name of the business, but that's what they do.
Right.
Fire trucks and ambulances, and they get like cab chassis, or they refurbish stuff, and they do like crazy LED lighting and just the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that right away.
Another big place.
That changed the whole game because now with LEDs, what draw? There is no current draw.
Nothing.
You could run a generator in the thing and it would work. Yeah.
So how's that new Ford truck supposed to power your house for 3 days?
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering on that one.
What's that, the EV thing?
Yeah,
I caught
the
one
new
picture.
EV 150 or something.
I caught there was a commercial on TV, and they showed a picture of the truck driving, and it was like a low angle looking up, and the thing that caught my eye immediately, and it was a quick shot, was the tires. It's got tires on it like a Prius. They're those high mileage, low resistance, low rolling resistance tires.
Yeah.
People are gonna shit when they find out what they cost to replace.
Very all that stuff, dude.
Yeah, very expensive.
I saw a video clip of Biden pushing.
Yeah, Biden test drove one.
Oh, right. We
Test
almost ran the
driving
guy
it.
over.
Oh, this thing's really fast. like, oh my god.
Yeah.
He's probably used to driving 4-cylinder cars.
No, he's actually got a couple of Corvettes.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he was on Jay Leno's garage.
I don't know if he's been driving them a lot lately, though.
I don't think he's got a license.
Well, don't worry, the Secret Service won't let him drive anyway. It's one thing they take away from him right now.
They did the same thing with when Jay Leno went to go. What was it? I think he went to go see Obama or something like that at the White House. They wouldn't let him leave the property, but he drove around.
Right.
I was like, oh,
They don't mess around. And there, as stories from my dad, there's been a few of them that get really upset because they think they can just drive down to the 7-Eleven and pick up an ice cream bar and a coffee or something. But
he gave all that up.
yeah,
right. You got to realize if you're the president, man, you've got people everywhere looking to off you.
Yeah.
You know, that's you got to deal with that kind of protection when you got no choice.
and like I said, you don't drive no more.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. You ain't driving.
Man, if I was the president, I'd still go drag racing, and I'd have the Secret Service bring
Yeah,
me to the track.
I don't think so,
I'd
John.
get a tractor trailer.
John would be writing executive
top
orders.
fuel car.
I'd be writing executive orders.
That would be so
Fuck
cool.
this golfing, go drag racing.
Put the
You could follow me to the
Prez
golf
on the
course. You
side.
could follow me to the track.
Hey, Lewis,
Presidents go
Yeah.
golfing. Why
that
can't
picture
they
you got
follow
up
him to
there
the
with
track?
Dennis Cage, you're wearing the same shirt.
You know what? That one's great.
Oh,
This
no,
one's
it's in
green.
the shirt.
Yeah, this one's green.
I'm colorblind.
It looks
It's
great
all
to
right.
me.
Carhartt. I still got shirts that still got tags on. Carhartt sent me
Carhartt's
so
a
much
good
stuff.
company.
Yeah,
So how
man.
is Dennis Cage? Is he kind of a crackpot, or is he?
No, he's a good dude, man. He's gonna be
He
on
just
here next
seems
week.
like he just seems so hyper on TV, and
He's passionate about his job, man. He really is.
I met him at a car show here in Lakeland a couple of years ago, man. He was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, good dude. He's
Super
gonna be
nice
here
guy.
next week. Next
Cool.
week he'll be here.
oh,
And then
cool.
the week after we got the Martins coming back.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
I remember they had the dog or something that time that in the video there.
Yep. So they'll be on next week. The new season's starting, so he has some stuff he
Wow.
wants to talk about. So
Gee, a
It'll be
year and a
good.
half later,
yeah,
or 2
Yeah.
years it's been.
2 years. Yeah.
Want to see more motorcycles?
Yeah, man. They're just when they were on the biker build offs, man. I wish they'd bring that back.
I like his stuff. I like his bikes.
Yeah, he's tough.
I mean, that was their whole business was bikes.
Yeah. Martin Brothers. Yep.
Yeah. That's
Carver
cool.
Squirrel, what's going on? You're awful quiet.
Got nothing to say. I'm enjoying listening to everybody here.
What are you
What's
cold?
that
You
saying?
got the flannel on there? What's going on there?
Well, he's still up in the Great Northwest, right?
What's the
Well,
temperature over there?
He
Oh,
froze.
it's only about 60.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
ain't too bad.
it's like
That's
it's
about
like
it.
78 degrees in my house right now. I'm dying.
I got
Turn the
61
AC on.
outside.
Haven't put the ACs in the window yet.
Oh, yeah.
So did everybody get signed up for SEMA yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
can't
do
do
mine. I'm gonna do mine this week. I'm looking for a slide-in camper for my pickup truck
Oh,
because I think I'm gonna. I'm definitely me and the wife are gonna drive
8 foot
and
bed.
8-foot bed.
All right.
We're gonna drive
Nice.
and we're gonna vacation on the way back because I had the week after SEMA, so we're gonna take our time and hit the national parks. And
good for you.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, take our time coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't take the highways,
No, I'm going.
you know?
Yeah,
Take Route
so
66 back.
Exchange it.
I think
Oh,
so.
yeah, right?
you
I'm
know?
gonna try to hook up with Arco and
Uh-huh.
and Heidi on the way out because they're driving out too. So I'm trying to meet up with them in caravan. You know.
Away from
Hey, on that note, without hypermiling or anything, I've been making little tweaks to this FJ, and I got like 3 miles to the gallon increase out of this thing.
There you
Nice.
go.
And that's, to me, that's huge.
Oh yeah.
You don't get a lot, so I upped it by 3. I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, my buddy bought the scanner for the Ford, so I'm gonna really tweak it up and make sure I get the best
Come on,
mileage.
Ray, are you gonna come out or not?
Yeah, Ray, you got to call in sick,
SEMA.
man.
Right. Well,
if you want to go to
be...
SEMA, I'll put you on the chassis connection.
This could be my last year working where I'm working, so after that I'll be free as a bird.
You'll be free.
All right.
You got to call in sick. You got sick time.
Better yet, I met with my retirement guy yesterday, and my wife and I had a video meeting with him, and I asked him, I said, okay, listen, I said, you do this all the time. I said, you got all my facts and figures in front of you. I said, I'm worried. I said, just tell me if you were to like turn around and tell someone else in the room, like, this guy's doing all right, or he's holy shit, he's got it great. Or if you'd say, oh, man, he better work for the rest of his life. Like, just give me a broad range like that, And he said, no, you're actually better than most. You're doing good. You're actually, you're not the best I've seen, but you're definitely over the middle of the road. You're definitely over them. So I'm like, okay. So we talked some numbers and facts and figures. I'm like, wow, better than I thought.
Good.
So he's able to see how much Social Security you get monthly and blah, blah, blah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can do that yourself. You run your Social Security report.
Yeah, and every year it's less.
Yeah.
My father claims by the time I need it, it'll be gone.
Yeah, I'm looking at, my wife, she wants to hold out until for us, John, it's like 66 and 8 months is when we can collect the max.
Right.
So, that's a few years off, just a couple. Yeah. It's not that many.
Blame Congress on that deal, man. They were not supposed to touch that ever.
I know.
Greedy sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, we'll just take from this and we'll invest it, and they'll get more money later. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
And you can't prosecute them because they're all dead now.
Yeah. Yep, you're right. Well, I'm going to retire in 4 years, and I'm going to go back to stripping, I think.
Yeah.
Houses or cars, Lewis?
I don't think I can do the poll anymore, but
come on.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be debt free in 4 years, and we're just cutting back on everything. I'm going to do my bus, and I'm going to buy a whole bunch of flip flops and flowered shirts.
Yeah. I want to do another car. I'm thinking, once I'm retired, I got to do another car. I got to do something that I can really, pay more and pay full attention to. I got another one in me.
Make sure it's not a 56 Chevy.
No, I got a 55 sitting in the driveway. That's probably.
There's a nomad in your driveway.
Where has Terry been?
Where is he?
He's a busy boy.
Yeah, he's busy.
I think because I'm on, he's not coming on now.
I didn't talk to him this week, but he's been really busy. He's humping, man.
Yeah.
He's busy working on a Chevelle, filling in the holes from the hood pins.
The hood pins, right.
Yeah.
Come on, put them back on.
I'm putting hood pins on this one.
Yeah, they got some nice new ones. Those new ones that like flush mount.
Push button ones.
Yeah.
That's like really the gas cap for the motorcycles, Louis. They do that push.
Yeah.
That hidden flush.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cap.
This car had hood pins on it because I did this aluminum plate sort of thing under the hood, which I had to take away the latch.
Yeah.
In order to do it, and it looked real cool, and I put a set of hood pins in, and it had that real like road race kind of flavor, with those vinyl covered steel cables, coming out of the grill and going up the nose. They were cheap ones too. Missed the gasket. I think they were like $14.
I think
but it looked good.
Yeah, the Chevelle we did at the shop, Mike put on. I guess the car was ordered with hood pins, so he wanted to put them back. I said, "You realize how redundantly stupid these things are? You got a double latch on this hood. It's like, if it fails that bad, these stupid little wires with number 6 screws aren't really holding it. Not keeping the hood on. Just saying." He's like,
it's the
safety precaution
pin and the clip that does the work.
Yes.
That's
true.
The cable's just there so you don't lose the pin.
That's true.
The clips.
Hey, Scott, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to redo my motorcycle stereo. And can you help me with my wiring? I'm gonna send you maybe a schematic of what I'm putting in,
Okay.
and I just need some help.
Oh man, it's real easy. You just go to like Home Depot or Lowe's, and you go in the electric aisle, and you find
You got lots of wire nuts?
you find lamp cord, and you
Wire
find like a
nut.
roll of lamp
Right.
cord.
On a
And
roll.
make sure you buy
get
copper clad
the-
aluminum too.
The
Oh,
10,
yeah.
12 wire nuts.
Yeah,
You just run that thing through there, and
little duct tape.
I had
You
a
like
picture of
Christmas tree.
Jetta.
and you can buy that lamp cord in like all different colors. You know, I kind
Yeah.
of like I like the clear one.
I can get
You know, it's
fancy.
like one side silver, one side copper, so it kind of
Right.
I could kind of keep the negative and the positive working. You know, but then I
And
like
make sure
to,
you did a
like-
copper
I like
color
to, I like
negative,
to
right?
reverse the phase on the rear speakers.
No, I just
Takes
yeah.
me back to my quad stereo days.
Now,
Yeah.
now you're saying copper for negative, so it's a darker color, right?
I guess I don't know.
I'll
Scott?
see what I can do. I don't do much bikes at all, but usually it's just and once in a while I'll just swap out a radio or something. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
well-
see if I can.
Well, what I'm thinking is I'm gonna add an amp to. No, I have an amp in there now. I'm gonna add another amp, and I'm gonna add a sub. So,
Why a
kinda-
sub?
'cause
I
need
mean,
a little.
it's
so you
wide
can
open. I
blow
mean, you
out
really don't
windows.
really hear it.
No, but I need to feel the. You know what I mean?
Why a Harley?
Nah. I
Just
gotta-
go open pipes.
Woofer
You'll feel
under
it.
your ass.
No,
You'll
I
feel
gotta-
it then.
I gotta feel it. I gotta feel the music. You know what I mean?
Full of plug wire.
See, yeah. Right now, I have a lot of highs, and I just need a little bit more. You know,
Bottom end.
So you
Yeah,
have the
feel it.
speakers in the fairing coming at you.
and then I got two firing up through my boxes, and I got two firing towards the wheels.
Now,
Back
what
wheel.
about the charging system? Will that be able to handle another amp?
Yeah, I put a new stator in it. I'm juiced up pretty good.
It must be a joy to be next to in traffic.
Oh yeah, they're pissed. They're really pissed at me. I'll tell you what.
Who cares? They're just
That's
jealous
why I
at you.
I like to ride next to guys. I get next to guys on FLHs because they're usually playing the Allman Brothers or Sabbath or Zeppelin, something. Yeah.
Leonard Skinner.
Right, Skinner. Yeah, that's good.
Free
I'll play
bird.
some of that.
Marshall Tucker.
Yeah, that's good
Yeah.
stuff.
So I just need a little deeper.
It's
Give it
tough
a
because it's in a car you're enclosed, and like when someone comes in with a Jeep Wrangler or a convertible and you take the top off, you lose at least 40% of the bass. So
Mhm.
you got a bike that it's not like enclosed with you in that area. It's just there's normally in a speaker you load it so it hits the surface and comes around. In a pickup
Yeah.
truck, you down fire it or up fire underneath the back seat and it comes out. Or in the trunk, you're firing inside and it comes back around. Out in a bike, it's just wide open. So,
Well, I'm gonna have it inside my box, inside one of my side boxes.
so you're gonna have an enclosure with the woofer in it, and then
Yeah.
firing into the box.
Yeah,
Well, the box will be the enclosure, basically.
yeah. The box.
Well,
will be
basically
there
making it
enclosed.
like a bandpass box.
Yeah.
You know what a bandpass
Yeah.
is?
No.
Yeah,
So-
that's filters. That's how they
You're gonna learn now.
town equalizer.
Basically,
Town
Wait a
equalizer.
Here you go. Look. They cut off on me. Wait a minute.
I gotta get some more water.
so basically, you have an enclosure with the woofer, right?
Right.
And then it's firing into a little chamber that has like a port, and it would fire
Yeah.
out of the port. Like, do you remember the ones that
Okay.
you would have? You'd see the clear bots, and it had a woofer, and then on the front
Yep.
side it had clear with two giant ports, so the sound would
Yeah.
travel into the front and come out of the port. So
Right.
you could build like a slot port, I guess, and then that slot would be firing out of the thing. So I guess indirectly that if you have the space to do it, like an 8-inch woofer normally needs about a third 0.3 cubic feet inside for a chamber. But when you build a ported or a bandpass, you could take specs and throw it out the window. It's totally different. So whatever company that makes a speaker, I would contact and say, if it was JBL or JL or whoever, and say,
It's rock.
this is what I want to do. How big can I, of an enclosure, how of a ported, what do I have to do?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I would do basically a band pass bots inside.
Okay. Yeah, I'm running Fosgate.
Yeah, Rocket does a lot of bike stuff.
Yeah.
You got the radio
That's another
too?
new thing. We're getting a scanner for Harley Davidson.
I
Oh,
think it looks like Brian's doing enemas on the truck.
it ain't
over
cheap,
there.
Brian.
What?
That ain't cheap. That setup for them.
Oh, I know. We got,
Yeah.
but we got, and Harley, and what's the other one?
Indian.
I think it's Indian,
Kazawaki.
and then, but the guy told me, the guy that does our scanner, the company, he says all you gotta do is once you find out what the motor is, because like marina, like boats and tractors and ATVs. Once you find the motor or what the motor is, that's the program that they're running for OBD2 or emission stuff. So once you find that, just because you might be using the boat, Cummings, like if it's a diesel boat, and you might be using a heavy duty truck line to get into a boat, you just got to know what the program is. Once you know that, then you can get into anything. But
I know
Harley
the
Davidson,
Harleys, they have their radio is like EQ'd. So people go and they take an amp off the factory radio, and the speakers sound like crap of whatever they're doing. So you have to get in a scan tool, and you can shut off like the EQ or reflash it. And I guess the Harley deal is unless you buy the product from them, the aftermarket, add-ons, they don't want to help you.
oh yeah, they don't want to touch. That's the problem. Especially like a lot of these cars, a lot of their diagnostic goes through the radio. So when they rip that radio out to put a different radio in, it's all over. Then they have nothing but problems.
Go through the radios in cars now.
Yeah,
No, they would display it on the radio thing, I think.
so,
They might, but still, that's just odd as hell
Well,
in my book.
okay, if you replace the windshield, you have to retune everything in the car. We have to rerun the computer and all that crap because there's a lot of shit in your windshield now.
She's right.
GPS
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
True.
Okay.
All sorts of sensors. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
ANC microphones
Automatic
now.
wipers. Whole deal.
Hey Scott, I got a question for you. Where would you go to get general information about car stereos? I'm trying to plan on a stereo for my car, and I don't even know where to start.
Well, honestly, crutchfield.com, you can go in and you can build for your car. So you put in your make and model.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, depending on the car or trim package, it'll ask you certain questions, knowing if it's a factory amp system or a non-amp system. Or some trim packages, it'll ask if it has factory nav, because sometimes the dash mount is different depending on the vehicle. Some Ford newer trucks, depending on the trim package, has a certain size radio or bigger, and so it's a different dash kit because the heater control is all part of the radio. So anyway, Crutchfield, and then you can it'll know what size speak is and all different things.
Yeah, well, my car is 25 years old, so it doesn't
What
have
is
any
it?
of that stuff. 95 Caprice wagon.
That's pretty straightforward. Let me see. Is it
And I'm
speakers on the
also,
doors or speakers on the top of the dash?
Doors. No. Fronts are. No, doors. That's right. Fronts are in the doors.
It's either 5
lid,
1/4 or 6.
right
Obviously,
behind the
6
back
by
seat,
9s in the
side
back.
panels.
6 by 9s in the back. And it's a standard, they call a 3-inch radio. It's a din and a half. So you get a mount.
That's coming out, and I'm putting in the double din.
It's a double din.
Adapter, yeah.
Yeah, it's a double din.
I thought that year was a din and a half.
Yeah, it's din and a half, like he says. But they sell a kit where you can go to double din.
All right. I haven't had anybody ask me about that one, so.
Interesting.
Yeah, every once in a while, if you follow the Impala stuff, you'll see a bunch of guys that have double din
How
radios
big of a
on.
chassis can I hack out of my stock Firebird dashboard? Put in there.
I put
touchscreen.
I put a double din in my Impala and in my Caprice wagon. They just literally bolted right in.
Really? Okay.
Piece of cake. I use Pioneers in both of them. They're bolted right in.
Do they still make those radios where you hit the button and the touch screen comes out?
Flip out.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pioneer actually has a CarPlay version I have in stock.
How
One
far
left.
out do those things go, though?
So when they come out and go up, there's about a half to 3/4 of an inch from the front edge of it.
Okay.
So
I wouldn't be able to use that then, because if you look at
like
a Firebird
where it comes out, there's
dashboard,
only a half an inch.
yeah, if you look
It's
at a
not like it
Firebird
sticks out.
dashboard, the radio part
It's recessed in.
is recessed, and then that like gauge panel area, it comes out and then up. So it would have to come out like 2 inches in order to make that
Well,
work.
your other thought is, have you seen these new floating radios? It looks
No.
like a tablet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can mount it anywhere and run the cables into the dash.
So think of a flip out radio, but it's stationary, right? But
Yeah.
there's a lot of them, they can be where the radio goes into the dash. Some of them can mount in like Alpine, there's like 5 different positions. So if your radio was here and the heater control was here, you wouldn't want to be blocking the heater. Instead, you could have it below. And then there's different angles, and some of them have like 2 different.
So in
in
other
and
words,
out.
I can, if they don't have like a mount, I could fabricate a mount, and instead of putting the radio in where the radio belongs, that's where I could put the mount.
You
Because
can it
below the
mounts on a
radio-
standard sleeve, a dim
Well,
sleeve.
below the radio on the Firebirds is an ashtray, which nobody's
Yeah.
using anyway. So I can go from the gauge pod down
Yeah.
past the radio and actually cover the area where the ashtray would be.
Let me pull up a
Because I'm
picture.
thinking I would like to have something kind of modern where, maybe something that's got, I don't know, Apple Play built into it. So I can use
Bluetooth.
the mapping stuff on the phone, and it'll show up. Like if I wanted to put the GPS stuff from the phone, it shows up
Yeah.
on the screen, like in my truck.
For all those road trips you're going to be taking in that car, right?
Well, yeah.
course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This car's going to be so mild. It's not going to be a fast car at all.
Jim,
I'm only
this
gonna
is
put
a
like a 373
double-din-
rear in it.
That's a 10.5.
This is the one that fits. This is the Pioneer that fits into the.
That's a 10.5.
I
That's a 10.5.
DEH.
Yeah.
I
So
can't.
John,
Yeah.
And
I think the bin radio is a standard
So-
2-prong stick out.
wait a minute, am I going the right way?
Yeah.
So-
Okay, I see.
So you see how the different angles,
Sure.
and then
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
make it so it's either up or down, so it hangs. See how that one's
Yes.
hanging? So in your
Perfect.
vehicle, you'd mount it and let it hang below, so it block the ashtray.
Yeah. And if that doesn't space it out enough, I could always fabricate to
Right,
that.
because you're using a sleeve, so you can fabricate a
Yeah.
sleeve and make some type of bezel to finish it off.
Well, that would be awesome. And who makes that stuff?
That's an Alpine, but they're nationwide back order right now. Well, actually, I'm on Crutchfield. Does it say they have this?
Eventually, they'll catch up.
Yeah.
Temporarily out of stock. This one's $1,000, $9.99. But they make a new model. It's supposed to be coming out. That's supposed
I
to
need one of them
be
like $49.99.
$700.
Yeah.
There's a cheap one that's going to be like $700. There are some cheap brands out there.
$49.99.
Hey, John. It'll say Maple Play instead of Apple Play.
Apple Play.
Exactly.
Jim, here's a piece of history for you. I think it was Scott Moore who made these. If you look at the old Impala Club, the old forum post, it's really nice finished plywood. They made these to adapt bigger speakers in the doors of the Impala or the Caprice.
I have heard of those.
Does that go over the door panel on the outside? You just copied it? Or is it
No,
behind?
it's on the inside. I obviously never used them in my car, but
Hey,
Jimmy's
those,
Jimmy's
Maybe
offering
knock
you
on
for
your door
nothing.
soon.
I bought a pair.
those are plywood. They're probably worth $1,000 a piece.
I
now.
know, and
Yeah,
it's,
they might be. Yeah.
it's MDX. It's really good finished ply too. It's
Yeah.
very nice. Good stuff.
I went to Home Depot the other day to get a tube of GE silicone. And I swear it was just like $3.50 or something like a year or so ago. It was like $7.50 something cents. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, everything is up.
Everything's crazy.
You know, a guy told me at work that the reason plywood and the the particle board is up is there was a factory in, I think he said Iowa, that makes
Caught
the
on fire.
glue, and the glue factory burned. And I
Yep.
said, you mean to tell me there's only one glue factory in the whole United States of America? He said,
Yeah.
no,
Crazy.
that's why the price is up.
I
Well,
think it's just
tonight-
because people were spending money fixing up things, their houses and stuff, and they just, well, let's just jack up everything and make more money.
Supply and demand, sure. That's the
Yeah,
whole-
because
that's
think
another
about it.
part
Those
of
stores stayed open.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I was
They
at
were
Home
busy.
Depot every day.
COVID didn't exist in there.
I did
Yep.
on my living room. I was there all the time.
Construction people and home fixing people can't get sick with COVID.
Yep.
Why?
But
Yeah,
actually, a
same.
year ago,
Anyway,
when I was
we're
doing it,
watching
it wasn't.
we're watching the news tonight. Like hurricane season's getting ready to start.
Oh,
And,
So plywood's going up more.
well, yeah. So my house, I have everything I need. Years ago, I went out and bought good. I was gonna get like the those like corrugated steel dealies.
Oh yeah.
But
Go
you
to
got to put
windows.
like 500,000 holes in your house, and use these special screws. They drop in, they clip, and then you got to go around with like the impact gun, bam, 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 bam. And it was like a ridiculous amount of money. And then I was going to get the polycarbonate ones that actually let the light come through, and they were like totally insane. So I'm like, no, I'm just going to do the plywood deal. So I went out and measured everything, and I bought a whole bunch of sheets of plywood years ago, and I cut them to fit. And I have these special hurricane clips that you put them in with, and I labeled each one, and I keep them at the other warehouse stacked up, and each one's labeled as to where it's got to go. So if there's a storm coming, I don't have to panic. I just go to the shop, I throw everything in the back of the pickup truck, I come here, hour and a half later, the whole house is boarded up. I don't got to worry about nothing. So with the price of plywood now, I'm just like wondering what these people are going to do, because there's always the people that don't do anything until it's time.
Right.
And then there's a
Oh, yeah.
panic, and then there's a
Oh, yeah.
shortage, and oh my God. And I'm
If you're
like,
living down there, you should be ready for
glad
it.
I did that. Yeah, well, nobody is. You got to have a
My father
generator.
put some.
You got to have everything.
My father lives in Delray Beach, and I swear he said he put hurricane-proof windows or something in like 7 years ago or something.
Yep. I got that. You have to have special stuff for your roof. We had a new roof put on last year, and they got to
The
do
metal
wind
one?
mitigation and the whole deal. And it's, can withstand insane amounts of wind, and it gives you a discount on your insurance. So there's a lot of stuff. If you live down here, you got to have some things,
Yeah, he had his roof blown off like 4 times. They finally
Yeah.
put the
Jeez.
metal roof up.
Yep. Yeah, if you go up in my attic, there's the whole roof structure is like bolted down with studs and giant nuts to the concrete. They run like this threaded rebar through the
Oh,
concrete
yeah.
block, and then there's straps, and like everything around here is strapped. Like my air conditioning compressor for the house outside has these big giant metal straps, and it's concrete screwed into the concrete base.
Yeah.
Because those things, the wind will come by, it'll pick that compressor up and just
Like that.
throw it,
Yeah.
So it's pretty.
They start
wild.
that stuff around here, like putting a shed in. You got to have them strapped to the ground, and
They
got
got
to
those
have them
cables
tethered
that
and
go
all the
over 'em
stuff.
with the big
And I mean,
screw.
Everything here, even though we're nowhere near any of that stuff, but it's 150-mile-an-hour windproof stuff and all kinds of
Yeah.
crazy shit.
But every year you see these storms go straight up the coast.
Oh yeah,
So you guys are susceptible to wind. You may not get a direct hit,
yeah. Now we've had a couple close ones. I mean, we've had some stuff, but I just think it's funny. Like I said, it's just so. Well, like I said, once you get the county and the government and everybody everybody wants you to open your pocket up to pay them for something.
Oh,
you know
of
what I'm
course.
saying?
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah,
thank
but
God,
one of these days you're going to be
Tampa
really
Bay
happy
is
when that
in a good
hurricane
spot.
comes up.
Yeah. I mean, eventually something's going to hit, but Tampa Bay's got a really good history of avoiding that stuff. And it has to do with just the way the state is laid out, and Tampa Bay itself, and then the peninsula for Pinellas County has a tendency to steer these storms and break stuff up. So
here's your number 8.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yep.
It's about 4 inches, 4.5 inches long.
I knew I had one on the ceiling.
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump off, but I'm gonna post a whole bunch of stuff this week for Dennis. So if everybody could share it for me, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, try to get a whole bunch of people lined up to be on. So okay, you guys stay safe, stay out of the heat. Papa Squirrel, stay safe out there.
Hey, always do.
Oh, no, you don't. I've always seen Papa Squirrel all wrapped up in Band-Aids and all kind of stuff. I'm like, oh man, what my man do?
That's funny.
Take care of yourself.
All right, I'll see you guys next week.
All right, Lewis.
All right, see
All
you.
right, Lewis, take it easy.
Yeah, my turn to bail too.
Hey, you've been falling asleep, Steve, for an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You've been yawning like crazy.
it's usually my deal.
Yeah.
I'm usually in bed at 10.
Take care, guys.
Take
All
care.
right.
All right,
See ya.
take it easy, Jim.
Oh, yes, yes.
We got our new I don't know, I guess they didn't have the green ones, but beer tabs.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
A beer tap handle.
Tap handle. Now, that's a shifted handle.
Yeah.
Everybody had
I
the
see a lot of guys
Whitman,
use,
Budweiser. You know, it was like, who had the best shift handle?
especially
back
like
in
on
the
a
day.
rat rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
We used to put them in street cars.
Yeah.
I never did, but
The best
So, hey, you want to hear a
handle
funny one?
ever invented was the,
So,
the
my
Chrysler
show truck
grip.
been sitting with old gas all winter long. So a few weeks ago, I go to a cruise night, pick up my girlfriend, get on it, running like a piece of crap, detonating. So I go and I fill up with fresh gas. I already had 2/3 of a tank. Seemed fine. Drove an hour down the cruise night, hour back. Oh, perfect. A week later, I started up. It's running like crap. It's detonating again. I'm like, what is going on? So I buy new plugs. I put a new cap rotor, and I get the cap off, and the strippers all like oxidized, like yucky, you know. And the so I got a tune port, so that's got that not impeller. What do you call that?
rotor.
Deluctor.
The reluctor ring, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all like nasty. So I order a brand new distributor. I put it in. I kept my old AC Delco.
Just go right to the top, don't you?
Oh yeah. I use my old AC Delco ignition module, and I'm getting like a misfire. It's like, what's going on? So we're playing around with the timing. I changed the module back to the one that came with the new distributor. I didn't want to because it's probably made in China. All right, misfire's gone. So I'm messing with the timing now, and it's like, all right, it's detonating. So I keep retarding it, and it's getting worse. I'm like, so I start advancing it, and I'm like, I get to a point where like, all right, it's perfect. I'm getting on it. My supercharger is only like 5 pounds tops. So usually it gets up to about 4 pounds, 3.5, according to the gauge. So I go to Cars and Coffee Sunday morning, and I'm up on the highway, and I'm not getting on it. I'm just normal coasting, and I'm getting detonation. But when I'm getting on it, it doesn't. But it's like normal, like just kind of driving. I'm like, this is pissing me off. So I finally used up all the gas. I just filled it this morning with super. I put a can of Seafoam in it, and I bought the bigger bottle of, it's supposed to be for 25 gallons. I have 14 of Octane Boost, some Lucas brand. So I drove it today. So far, it seems better. But I'm like, what the hell?
I don't know. I took my car out today. I had it sitting all since last year with half a tank of gas and
That's an all crap.
Tech and well, I use this stuff.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. It's supposed to be
Startron.
like stable too, right?
It's an enzyme, so it actually doesn't let the fuel separate. Car started and ran like a dream.
So I've never ever put any additive in. I've always had the gas from the year before, but I don't know.
Do you
What do you
put
got there,
anything in it when
Brian?
you go to store it?
I stored room temperature right in my my house.
Yeah, but still.
My garage goes down to like 45 degrees.
I don't know. I think gas gets stale just sitting around. Period. You
It
know, I
does.
think if
It
you
does.
At least
Uh,
today's
average-
new gas.
The average
Put
life
something
of
in
gas
it.
is only 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
And I didn't
even-
drive the vehicle much last year, so who knows how long that gas was sitting in there.
When did you
prior.
change the fuel filter?
Can't hurt.
Well, I would have before you did all that other stuff. I would have changed the fuel filter before I did all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
limiting
gonna
locked
have an
up with
effect
crap.
on a like a pinging like that ignition issue.
It depends on how much crap's in that fuel filter, and if you don't have a right fuel pressure,
I got about 55 in there right now, but it's weird. The gauge was like pegged at 60, so I take the adjustable regulator, I start messing with it, finally get it down to like 45, 48 where I had it, and then now it goes down to 30. Those stupid tune port regulators, those the adjustable ones, they're garbage. So now I'm playing with it, and depending if it's cold or hot, it's at 60. It's like I'm just letting it run rich and run it extra. I don't care. But I'm gonna have to take the plenum off and put another regulator. But it's just weird. Everything I think it's all fuel from sitting, and then it might have clogged up the injectors.
That's pretty.
That's why I put the seafoam in there, and we'll see what happens.
yeah. If you get if
John,
anybody's
what was
got
the name
that,
of that stuff you were using that you put into your tank?
What was that?
Smartphone,
The blue fuel additive. What was that you were using, John?
Enzyme?
Startron.
Startron.
Oh,
The
you mean
enzyme
the
stuff you said.
Startron.
Startron. Yeah,
Sarcon.
Startron.
It's made by
Startron.
Starbright Company. Yeah.
yeah. You see it at a lot of places like that do boat stuff.
They're huge in the boat community. Yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
boat
That's good
community.
That's what I use in my diesel tank because
Right.
Startron, the chemicals in it evaporate and coat your tank and your fuel linings. That's why it's used a lot in boats because they sit there so much.
They
Right.
collect so much water.
It's-
Yeah.
Most fuel additives only protect the fuel. This protects your tank from rusting inside.
And what you really need to do is when you're using any kind of I know Startron does it. The 44K does it. You need to stuff that takes the ethanol out of the gas because ethanol attracts so much water. And I
Yes.
guarantee
Oh, yeah.
you have so much problems with your injectors. 44K is really good. And I don't believe in a lot of those snake oils, but I use both. Even the Startron stuff is really good. I have that in my lawn equipment. The 44K is fairly expensive, but you want to get that ethanol out. That's the first thing you want to do.
It takes the ethanol out.
Yeah,
I mean, it takes the water out, right?
yeah. The
Like dry
ethanol,
gas.
collects so much water.
Yeah.
So you want something like they have that a stable 360, the Startron. There's a lot of them. You just want to make sure it takes the ethanol out, especially if you're running the older injection or carburetor stuff. You just want to get rid of that ethanol altogether.
Ethanol is more hygroscopic than brake fluid is.
Yeah,
No.
it is
Well, I
really
guarantee
bad.
all gas in California has ethanol in it. They brag about it.
I'll go to the
Yeah.
airport and buy
That's
some
right on
nav
the pump.
gas.
We used to run av gas in our cars.
Sure.
It was what,
Yeah.
105
Go to-
octane or something like that?
Islip MacArthur Airport or to down in Farmingdale.
Yeah.
Whatever that airport is.
They're
over there.
trying to pass.
Republic.
Right now,
Republic.
gasoline has 10% ethanol, and they're trying to pass to 15%.
They've been trying to go
Ridiculous.
15 and 20 for years. And actually, SEMA, the SEMA SAN, that Action Network, they're really big in fighting that. And they've been
Yeah.
stating, it is actually the car manufacturers got on board and said, hey, our engines aren't designed to run on 20% ethanol. We're going to be taking warranty claims like crazy. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
do that. And I think that's what held them at bay because they don't
So
care about
far.
the old cars. They don't give a shit about us.
Yeah, so far.
I mean, the newer cars, they could reprogram them to run on it, but think of all the people that have to go out and have that done. That's going to be a major disaster.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, look how many cars are flex fuel now. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
can
don't
do it in
think
my
it
Tahoe,
stores
but we
that
don't have
well.
it here. I've never seen flex fuel in my area.
Oh, really? Okay.
Really.
Yeah, we have it here.
We
Yeah,
got it
there's-
down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's Wawa that sells everything.
Yeah. Good sandwich.
Ethanol free.
Cam
that's-
2?
Great
that's-
sandwiches. No, they don't sell Cam 2, but in Clearwater, there's a gas station. Like, remember Pace Fuels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a gas station like Pace Fuels in Clearwater that sells regular gas, low grade, mid grade, premium, non-ethanol, and then they have 4 different grades of Cam 2.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
at
cool.
the pump. Unbelievable.
Nice.
And I
Just
think
a
the
Sunoco
reason,
you can
I
buy
think the reason
unleaded.
they sell that stuff is because the distributor for Cam 2 is really only about 4 miles away from this place.
Okay.
So he's like an outlet for that,
Yeah.
There's
which
a
is great.
Sunoco
You
not
just
far from me.
roll
You
up
can
there.
buy unleaded 100 octane, but it's stupid money.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
like
remember-
$8,
I
$9
remember
a
the
gallon
days-
now.
I remember the days of Sunoco where they had that big knob you'd turn.
Yeah, the dial. It was like
The
a coffee
dial.
grind dial. It was like it was like being in the A&P and doing the
Yeah.
coffee grinder,
Yep.
right?
You'd put in
You
a
want-
different, whatever octane you wanted, and it was just one
240 or
nozzle.
260. Yeah.
Yeah. And we used to
Cool.
go all different places. Like, for a while, you could actually get gas at a decent price if you went up on the Northern State Parkway.
Oh, okay.
Remember those service stations they
Yeah.
had in between?
Remember they had one on the Southern State too.
Yeah, and on the Southern
Yeah.
State also. So a lot of them were Sunoco stations for a long time.
Okay.
When I had the Firebird, the first one, and we would go right up on the Parkway and
Wow.
fill up, or we'd go to Pace, or we would go in Comac to Gasoline Heaven. That was another place where they had Cam 2 and everything. So it was those were the days,
Yeah.
And I think back then, when premium was like 75 cents a gallon, Cam 2 was like $2.50.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did I
Yeah.
build a 14-to-1 motor?
Right.
What are you gonna do?
Yep.
That was the only way to make horsepower back then. Camshaft profiles weren't like they are now.
No dual pattern
No.
cams.
Yeah, carburetors were not as good as they are today.
It was high overlap, high
You didn't
duration.
have fuel
more-
injection. You didn't have any of that
Right.
good stuff. So now it's easy.
Yeah.
Now you can just plunk down a couple of $1,000s and get an 800 horse motor sent to you in a crate.
Bolted in.
Done. It's ridiculous.
Took
No
all the
run,
fun.
right? With a warranty.
Yeah, with a warranty, 30,000 mile.
Crazy.
Who would have thunk that?
Took all the fun out of it.
Hey, I'm
Right.
kind of happy they did.
Yeah.
Makes life easy for a guy like me. I'm kind of dreading taking apart the motor that came with this car because I don't know what it is. I was told it was a mild 454, a rebuild.
Yeah.
But
Well, you're not going to use it, right?
yeah, the one that came with this car is the motor that's going to go back in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then you should be
So,
dreading it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to eventually, I guess, once the car goes to the body shop, I'll pull that motor out from under the workbench, throw it on the stand, flip it over, and see what's in it.
So that was a 454, not a 455.
No, it's a
It's
Chevy
it's
motor.
a Chevy.
Wow.
Chevy motor. I'm a Chevy guy. I only go to Pontiac because I like the body style.
Did you see that stupid truck? They took like a Chevy truck and made it look like a Bandit.
No.
No.
I'll
It
tell you
looks
what I did
stupid.
see.
It's
I'll
got
have
like
to
those
find- I'll have to
snowflake
find the
rims or
video.
whatever.
Yeah.
Gold.
Somebody that I know posted a video at a gas station. Somebody took like a Peterbilt or a Mack chassis, took the cab off of it, extended the frame way out, like
Yeah.
16 feet out, and put the fuselage of a jet on it.
Wow.
Yeah. and where the radiator grill would be, they put like the intake of a jet engine. So you see, you know, you got think of like a Boeing 757 windshield, the pointy nose, and then underneath it is the cowling to a jet engine.
Wow.
And it's on a super stretch tractor, you know, chassis. And the guy was at a gas station gassing the thing up, and it's a motorhome. Made the fuselage into a motorhome, but
Yeah,
it's a jet. It's a jet fuselage on a chassis. I
That's
just
pretty
thought
cool.
this thing was sick.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what a cool vehicle to drive around in, you know? It's wild. The door still opens up, you know, drops down deal with the stairs.
Yeah, that'll get your
I was like,
attention.
yeah.
It's like driving the
I'll have
Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
You know, I see that thing every year when it comes to Tampa. I
Yeah.
just always happen to be where it's at.
There's one of those
And-
around here. Someone
Yeah,
just
I'll
posted on Facebook
usually-
last week.
I usually find it parked in either in a Walmart or at a hotel, and I'll just drive up and I'll run and I'll do a selfie. Look what I
Yeah.
seen today.
Hey,
You know, it's crazy.
Brian, is that a half-inch drive torque right?
Yeah, it's our new digital.
I'll take a couple of those. Send them up.
Was that the ones that beep?
Yes.
Beep, vibrate.
Beep.
What's that, about 800?
Well, actually, the show special is $590.
Ouch.
What's the range?
What's the
I
range?
see
That's what I
the
was gonna
range
ask.
on those is different than the old than the normal.
It's from what is it, 41 to or 31 to 250.
That's good. That's very good.
Perfect.
They're usually not that wide of a range.
And the nice thing
gonna-
about ours is 10,000 cycles. Everybody, when they they automatically shut down at I think the other guy's 2,000 cycles, and you had to get them recalibrated.
Do you deal with a guy for calibration for the standard style wrenches?
I send them out to a place up in West Virginia.
I've always wanted to have my wrenches calibrated again, just checked. I mean, I don't abuse them or drop them, but you never know.
Do you always take the pressure off of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it shouldn't
have
have any issues.
I wipe it down before I put it back in the box.
I got a
The
Mac
biggest
that
problem that
clicks.
I've found lately is a lot of the older guys are bringing me their torque wrenches. They want to send them out and get them calibrated, or make sure they're in specs. And usually they're out and they can't get parts.
Oh, really?
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
sucks.
There's a lot of,
Okay, listen, Brian, will you take it as a trade-in on a new digital one?
that's what people ask me all the time. And
Of
I've
course.
got a few sticks. Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, Ray,
Ah.
not a problem, buddy. Not a
All
problem.
right. I
All
do
you
have
tool
one
guys
digital.
always take stuff back, you know.
Yeah.
I'll give you $1,000 for that Craftsman box.
Right. Right.
Here's a good one. I got a good one for you. Will you take this in on trade?
Oh, an old.
Send it back to Harbor
old
Freight.
There is still a use for that in a
This is
mechanics
a
toolbox.
Craftsman. I bought this like
Yeah.
100 years ago.
Yeah, I don't
I
have
wonder
it.
how
on
accurate
my-
I still use mine all the time.
That is, I mean,
Yeah.
for doing pinion preload, that's exactly what you want to use.
Yep.
Yeah, why not? It still stops at 0. So how
Yeah.
out could it be?
Right.
I would be interested in putting that against a regular one and seeing how far off it is.
I'll have to give it a shot. I got a
It'd probably
got a
be right
Mac
on.
that-
You'd be surprised.
Pops. Yeah.
Right.
I bought this thing from Sears and Comac in
40 years ago.
probably like 75 or 76.
That's about what I got mine. I got mine from
Yeah.
Sears and Rockville Center.
Yeah.
And I still have mine.
Yeah, I don't have
still
mine. I
have
don't know
mine,
whatever
too.
happened to my original.
Yep. The old bean.
Yeah.
That's it, man. It works.
Old school.
Old school's the way to go.
Like I said, to do a pinion, that's exactly what you need to do pinion preload.
Yeah. How
I
come
was hoping
how
to
come
get-
the click one's no good for that?
It's you really want deflection on the fly, and that reads it as you're pulling it. I mean, the other one's doing it, but it's doing it internal, and you don't know until it clicks.
Right.
And
Right. So you want to be
Hey, you
able to
kind of
see it
know
as
where
you're-
you are right
you're
as it's
coming up
about to
it.
get there.
yes,
Oh, I get it.
and you can do wheel bearings that way too.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, the Porsche, they finally pulled the nose off that Porsche.
Yeah.
So the guy said he only tapped like a concrete slug that was like the size of a fire hydrant,
Yeah.
but both airbags blew, right?
Yeah.
Well, they pull the nose, they pull a bumper off, and the aluminum bumper, it comes around and then dips in. It crushed the front of the car. There's a black box in the front right corner of that car.
Yep.
We don't know what it's for yet, but that's kind of pinned against the wall.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was going a little bit more than that. I got to drive. I brought it in and out of the shop the other day. The clutch on that car is weird, man. It's like the way it hangs is very strange.
Yeah, it's that because the pedal, it's like the old Beetle. The
Right.
pedal from the floor up, so it's really kind of you gotta really take your foot off the clutch pedal.
But I'll tell you something. I knew it. That's why I wanted to drive it. I knew I would fit perfect in that car. I felt like it was like made for me.
Yeah.
Except the only problem was the airbag that was blown. They kind of stuffed it back in. So every time I'm turning the wheel, this airbag was flying around.
Yeah, on that vintage, all it takes is 2 of the 4 sensors. Yeah, 2 of the 4 sensors. All they gotta do is roll out. It's like it's like a party favor. You know how it roll out, and all it takes on that vintage car, 2 out of the 4, all they gotta do is roll out and touch, and they'll blow the bags.
Yeah.
We used to have guys, they go up to Summit Point on the racetrack and they spin the car around and they get the car around in a 360 a couple times and it would blow the bags on them.
Wow.
Because
this guy hit this thing harder than he said he did.
Yeah.
Like I said, but now they're trying to find a bumper cover, and they were looking used because I don't think it was available new was like stratospheric, I guess. But even the used ones are like stupid money with no guarantee. So
you remember when we had that lady, that girl, that Sarah chick out in California, and then there's Oklahoma Foreign.
You know what? Let me write that down. I forgot all about her. Yeah, it was Sarah.
Is that the girl with the Trans Am?
No,
the Porsches.
Yeah, but didn't they have her husband had a Trans Am?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
What was the other one, Brian?
The other one was Oklahoma Foreign.
Oklahoma
Foreign.
Yeah, they're out in Oklahoma City.
Oh God.
We used to get a lot of parts from them when I was at the dealership. They had a really good price, a big thing. But that Sarah, her last name.
I don't remember. I can look it up.
Yeah, if you're on Facebook, it's was Sarah Portia Durkin or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, but she had a big old ass scrap yard. She had all kinds of shit out there.
That's right. Yeah, like I said, they were having trouble finding the parts for that car. And
those cars are so hard.
Yeah,
so hard. That's what year was that?
97.
97, air cooled.
Yeah.
It's the sad part about that car will start out at 100,000.
It's a beautiful car. It's that nice blue color, and it's got that buck, not light buck, but like a medium buck leather interior, like a brand, not really dark brown, but very nice cloth top, the whole bit. It's got
the only thing I hate about that color combo, they always had that stupid blue top.
It's got a blue top, but it's a blue cloth top, so it looks really nice.
Yeah, it's ugly.
I like the blue top on a blue car. I don't know.
Yeah.
What color would you prefer?
Huh? I would prefer black.
Black, yeah. No, I like the blue.
Because the blue one, they start fading and they turn funny colors, and man, you'll just never.
If I had that car, you wouldn't see the top because it would just stay down.
Yeah.
You know,
Until the day you need to put it up, and it's all shrunk, and it won't.
Crappy looking.
It busts the bow straps in it.
well, but that's the thing. The cloth doesn't shrink like the vinyl does. It stays a lot more pliable.
It's German. It's German. It shrinks. Okay.
Okay, all right. Shrink
It's
it.
German, it shrinks.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I'm taking off, guys.
All right,
All right,
Scott.
All
All
right.
right, take care. Be well, everyone.
See ya.
So long.
All right, be good. Bye.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So, but yep, I got a busy day tomorrow, man. I gotta push some stuff, man. I can't believe I got half my shit from Expo already.
wow.
awesome.
From Expo, yeah.
Wow.
Wow. What kind of stuff did you order?
I ordered a lot. This year. I want to really push my battery tools.
Okay.
Battery. I ordered a lot of battery, and
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you got to. Yeah, Derek ordered that battery. The battery puller. Right.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. But I got that, and I got tons. Luke should be happy. I got tons and tons. We're pushing the neck lights.
Right.
I
Branded
got,
ones too.
huh? Yeah. I got. Let's see here. I got.
It's amazing how much the Matco light, and when you put the Easy Red light next to it, it's amazing how they look very similar.
Yeah, I know. So I probably got about 40, almost 50 pairs.
Wow.
So I found out I was gonna wear my bandana around my head. I put the neck light over that because it holds it in place. And I get on the dash of that freaking Mustang, and I can actually see stuff. I hate getting under that car. My God.
I want to get that bandana with the camera mount on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I could,
and I got
put my GoPro on my head and actually film myself doing stuff. I need to start doing that.
Yes.
And
So
between
what are you
our
gonna do when you gotta hit your GoPro and hurt yourself?
yeah,
That's true.
Is that the step bit set?
yeah, the hyper steps.
Yeah, that's on my long list, man. Those I can't
got,
wait to try those.
I got about 50 boxes of those.
Wow.
And
you blowing them out or what? You blowing them out on special or what?
Jump. Yeah. Expo show price.
What's the Expo show price?
Yep.
What is
You go to
the
that
Expo show
and you wind
price?
up spending.
I have to bring it up. I can't bring it up. If I bring it up on the computer, I lose you guys.
Okay. Really?
Yeah. Well, I can't do two things at once. Man, shit.
On the you bring up.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like Big Brother's watching it. If you say the price, they'll knock you off the air.
Oh no! Well, technically, I'm not allowed to say anything about prices.
Right.
They're really sticklers about that.
So look, man, I'm in business to sell. I gotta sell. How do you sell if you don't mention prices? You gotta make deals. Move and shake. Come on.
And here in June, I got my camouflaged air hammers. They're
so
like
you can go banging in the
desert,
woods.
Yeah, like desert or sand.
Oh God!
In case you work in the desert. In case you work out in Pakistan.
Hey, look, these guys want that shit. They can have it, dude. I'm just saying.
Sounds like a true merchant. Give them what they want.
Yep. Yeah. I used to be so picky about. I used to buy stuff because of what I liked. And then next thing I knew, I had a whole truck full of stuff that I liked. And and guys would come out and say, "Well, don't you have this?" I said, "Why the fuck do you want that for?" I had a district rep with me one day, and he said, "Do you ever listen to yourself talk?" And I said, "I shouldn't, because I know I talk too much." And he said, "When these guys say what they want, you just hand it to them and collect the cash." Right.
That's what you're in business for.
Yep.
They want rainbow gun covers. Get them a rainbow gun cover.
Yeah.
Pull your button your way, buddy. We don't care.
That's it.
So this weekend is the Rainbow Parade down here.
Really?
Yeah.
On land or sea?
Both.
Oh, great.
So I don't know. I don't know what else I had gotten new.
This I was kind of surprised you had this Silver Eagle set in chrome. We were talking about that, and it's kind of cool that came in like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good set. That was in the Father's Day catalog. That set.
And and a bit driver set. I just bought a bit driver set. And I gotta make all the markings white. John, everything you need in 1/4 inch.
Oh wow.
In
Metric, standard.
Metric and American and bit drivers.
Mm.
Just like playing with the ratchet.
I hate metric.
Well, it is what we got. It is what it is.
Can't get away from it. I know.
No. I don't know. I used to be much. What is it that you don't like? What's the beef?
It's not American.
Oh, okay.
Come on, John. You knew way back when you were a little guy in school that we were all going metric.
They were trying to teach it to us.
That was after I got out of school.
Don't you remember the metric road signs?
Yeah, when they were.
Yeah.
Oh, weird, very weird. Okay. A friend of mine from Deer Park who lives down in Naples now. And he's got a 71 Camaro SS.
Nice.
That he bought from a good friend of ours. He was the original owner, and he wanted to sell a car, so now my guy's got it down here, and it needs restoration. It's been sitting around for years, so he's like, "Come take a look, and let's talk about what I should get." So I'm on my way down there. I had left a job that I had done with the other business in Fort Myers, and I put the thing in my phone. And he wasn't going to be home for like 40 minutes. And it was really like a 20-minute ride. So I took an alternate route on the GPS to basically kind of take side streets to get to his house. So I'm driving through this really nice town below Fort Myers and above Naples. And it's like all of these gated communities on both sides, all these, planned developments with these little, like town centers in them and the whole deal. Beautiful, beautiful place. All of the speed limit signs for like 6 miles were American and metric.
Yep.
I'm like, Did somebody like take a chunk of Germany and drop it here?
No, maybe the Canadians are down there. I know Canadians love Florida.
It was amazing. Speed limit, 45 miles an hour, and then whatever it is in
65 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Hey, at least it wasn't in Spanish.
This went on for miles, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
That'd be next.
I make a turn,
doing that,
and then I'm just back to American stuff.
They were doing that to educate Americans because we were all going to go metric. And I swear it was in the 70s because you started seeing all these metric American speed signs and things like that. And then it just disappeared.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I remember
they said it was too expensive.
The oil company said they would never do it because of the way the systems were set up for metering.
Meters and stuff. Yeah.
I do remember in the 70s when they, for a short while, they were selling gas by the liter.
Yeah.
And we were thinking like, wow, that's cheap. No, it ain't cheaper. It's less. It's less than a gallon. It's like, and they stopped doing that too. Like, good.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was talking about metric tools. I had a discussion with a guy the other day, and we were talking about. I said, I think I brought up, I said, metric, it's easy. It goes by number. It's incremental. I said, so how come we still call the ratchets 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 inch drive in a metric set? And the drive is the same as an American set, You know, it is. And he's like, wow. I said, but if you think about the American system, like we talked about before, people can't wrap their head around fractions or decimal. So the American system is all based on sixteenths. A socket or wrench set is all in 16th inch increments. It's just different fractions. You know, you got 5/16, but you got, a half. A half is 8/16, and then you got 9/16. Then you got 5/8. 5/8 is 10/16. Then you have 11/16. You know, it's all based on a 16th of an inch. Which, if you think about it, like a millimeter difference or a 16th of an inch difference is so small. Like, why did they just make the? I don't know why they made it so close when they.
So now, if you go to a place that's 100% metric, I guess Australia.
I don't know.
Are the drives still quarter, 3/8, and half, or are they metric drives?
I couldn't answer that. I don't know.
I don't know, but from my
There you go,
Australian
Brian. That's something you need to look up.
Yeah.
That's something you need to figure out.
but
If
for
you
my
go to a place that's all
Australian-
metric,
So these are my Australian shoes, and
Yeah.
as you can see, they come. This is a 10, but it's really a US 11.
Oh
Right.
yeah. Yeah,
One
I got a
size
couple pair of shoes and boots that are Italian, and it's that Euro
I
size.
just got an ad that says, want to become famous by followers and viewers on such and such. Bigfellows.com.
Wow.
I know. I just saw it. Big fellas sounds sexy.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, John. That's a good question. Every metric set I've ever bought that came with extensions or ratchets had
right?
quarter, 3/8, or half.
So is it American-based tools for here and European-based tools over there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, if they're going to make a set like this set and include a ratchet, they could include the one that fits it. So I don't know. That's something that I just don't know the answer to. I would ask the tool guy.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'll have to find out.
We need to talk to someone in Europe,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's straight up metric, or Canada, where it's straight up
Right.
metric.
I got a friend. I got a friend in Canada. My
Or
friend
John
Alain.
Day. Yeah, John Day would know too, I guess.
Yeah, my friend Alain.
Listen to that.
He would
crow.
know. He's a car guy.
Yeah.
You've talked enough.
Wow, my buddy Bill just said that he saw metric signs out in Bohemia and Ronkonkoma over the weekend.
Get out of here.
Yeah, Ronkonkoma.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was very strange. And I'm like, what is going on here? And it was only in this like I guess about a 5 or 6 mile stretch on this
Right.
road. With the entrances to all of these gated communities, and
Oh, that's a pretty cat.
yeah.
That's a
He said,
sweetheart.
I've been on the internet too long.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, he's a little upset.
that's a pretty cat. Oh man, Shevitz.
All right, guys.
All
I
right.
got a lot more to do. I got 2 rat feet carts to put together, and I got 4 floor jacks I need to get ready for tomorrow.
Wow, you still working into the night. Look at that.
Yeah.
Credit
You need some
cards.
elves.
And get ready for and get ready for credit cards.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So
All
Don't
right.
forget, I need 3 bills for this deal. I got to give these guys their separate bills.
yeah, I was like I said, the stuff that I missed throwing in the box,
Yeah.
I need to get. And I got the battery puller, the
claw fingers, right?
the claw fingers.
Yeah, that was for
Actually,
John.
the one that I ordered for that guy, and the one that came, it didn't have the magnetic ring in it.
Okay. I tell you something, that oil filter wrench is nice.
Those oil filter wrenches, yeah, they are really
It
nice.
took me a while to figure out how it would do a 4-inch filter. I'm like, oh, this thing raises. I got it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty slick. Very nice.
Yeah. A lot of guys. I've only had a few guys that didn't like it because it's too straight. I mean, it's flat. You can't go at an angle. But I mean, if you got easy access, it's a great wrench. I mean, I use I use them for like when I did the tool truck and my pickup truck, because it was not the pickup truck, the Molly's Volkswagen, because it was the way it was set. It was real easy, and they grip on there.
Yeah.
Sold a lot of those.
Pretty cool. Very nice. Very nice.
But yeah, we'll get all that stuff straightened out. I'll try to get all that stuff into the week too.
All right, not a problem. Like I said, Derek now he's in Guyana, so he won't see his stuff till he gets back. And John's just happy he got his mat because his knees are so shot. He's actually going to use this thing. He says, "You're not going to believe me if I tell you what I'm going to use this for." He uses a cot to watch TV on. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But he says he wants to lay that on the cot to give him support. I'm like, hey, dude, do whatever you want with it. You know, you buy it, you do what you want with it. I don't care. You know,
That's crazy.
It's you live your life.
Yeah. That's crazy. We'll have to send him a creeper for to toughen up give him more support on this cot.
He's got to go and get his knees done is what he's got to do. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He's got to do that.
Best thing I ever had done.
He's shot. He gets up and he can hardly walk. He's all hunched over and he shuffles. And I said, dude, you're just hurting yourself. You know, you just go do it. I told him Billy Lynch needed his knees done years ago. Billy used to be he wasn't a semi-pro tennis player, but he played tennis with a couple guys in his building that were legit semi-pros. And he played with them. They used to use him not as a ball boy. He was competitive with them. So over the years, his knees went bad, and he told me this is like 10 years ago. He says, I got to get my knees done. I need both of them done. And he says, I used to be taller. Now I gained weight. I can't stand right. I can't walk. And then a couple months later, I go see him. He says, hey, you know what, Ian, you may not see me for a while. I'm going to get my knees done next week. I'm like, knees? I said, Billy, they do one at a time, right? He goes, they gave me the option they do one at a time. He goes, I told them I want them both done at the same time.
Wow.
And he insisted that they did. And I said,
way to learn how to walk again.
Well, I said, why did you do that? And he says, because if they did one, and if anything screwed up in the least, I would never go back for the other one. Yeah. He goes, I figure I'm all in. Either they totally cripple me with both of them, or I'm totally healed. And I'll tell you something. He rehabbed it within 6 months. He actually gained 1.5 inches. He got taller, and he's playing tennis again. And he's in his late 70s.
Wow.
That's cool.
So he's doing fantastic. And I told that story to John. I said, John, if Billy could do it, you could do it. You know?
Yeah, I'm glad I had my knee done.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, I
don't
have any complaints whatsoever.
Yeah.
It was tough rehab because I was doing good right away. And then all of a sudden, like something let loose, and I backed up 6 steps.
Yeah.
But it came back, and then I don't complain about it at all. My other knee, my left knee, is absolutely perfect. There's no issues with it whatsoever.
Good.
So I'm lucky. Now I have problems with my ankles, but there's nothing you can do with them.
Oh, yeah.
I got my left ankle because I was in an accident back in like 77 when I had my Vega. I got hit head on.
Ooh.
And my left foot was braced up against the floor, and on the Vegas, the tire's right there.
Yeah.
So when I got hit, the front end crumpled and the tire pushed the floor up.
Ooh. Wow.
And I broke my ankle in like 6 places.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was young. I was 19, and I healed up, no problem. But the doc says the way you broke this, he goes, you're going to get arthritic later on.
Oh, yeah.
He says, and maybe by then they'll have something, they can do.
In the future.
Yeah, I went to my knee doctor, and I'm like, I got problems with my ankle, doc. He says, normally it's okay, but if I do a lot of standing and a lot of walking, it swells up and it gets stiff and it hurts. It's pretty painful. And like if I do a lot of stuff where I'm on my feet the whole day long, and then I go sit down and watch TV for an hour or two, and then I go to get up. I can't walk.
Right.
I like hobble, and then it loosens up. So he's like, well, he goes, we don't have anything for that yet. He goes, the only thing we can do is give you a cortisone shot.
Yeah.
He goes, and that'll help you for, a year or two. He goes, and then he goes, but you got to realize once you start that kind of therapy,
keep doing it.
over the years, it'll start getting to, like I was doing with my knee, it'll get to a shorter and shorter period where it doesn't do anything anymore.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. So he did it about, I guess it was like a little over 2 years ago. And I get some pain every now and then, but I don't do anything about it. I just get off my ankle and then it's fine. The next day I'm okay.
Yeah.
So
Do you sleep with them elevated?
No.
Because that might help.
Pretty flat.
Let them, because you probably have the same problem. A lot of people that get a lot of, what's that called? Decompression. You decompression because you got so much hanging down, so much going down, so much gravity pull, and that was the biggest thing for me when I just sleep. I have like a 6-inch pillow, like a 6-inch round pillow down at the bottom that I sleep with my feet up. Made a world of a difference.
Helps to get the blood back up.
Blood flow, swelling, everything, man. It was like the biggest. I thought it was a little weird at first, but man, decompressionize or whatever they call it.
Yeah, it's edema. When the blood goes down but doesn't come back, right?
Yeah, and it made a world of a difference because my ankles used to. The pain. It used to kill me too. I had the same thing. It's like you say, you get up, you do it, you're on them, and then you sit for a little bit, you get up, you're hobbling around like you're 85 years old. Like, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it or fall down the stairs or whatever?
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
For a few minutes, it's like, oh,
it's
my
a weird
God.
feeling.
And then, it happened to me tonight when I went to go get water. I got off the seat, and then I was like kind of hobbling over to the fridge that I have here in the garage. But then when I came back, I was okay. So it's weird. See, like now it's not hurting me at all. I'm standing up. I'll be going to sleep in a little while. I'll wake up tomorrow morning and there won't be any issues whatsoever. So
yeah,
that's part of getting old.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you guys later.
Yes.
Good seeing you.
We'll catch
Enjoy
up.
yourselves.
Good night.
All right, fellas. For Playing in Traffic in Lewis Lee, it's Ray Guarino, Chassis John, Naco Man Brian, just back from Expo, holding down the fort. And I guess we'll be playing with Dennis Gage next week.
That'll be interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Very cool. All right.
All right, boys. Talk to you during the week.
You got
Take it easy. See you guys. Be safe.
Here's
I'll
our
be in touch, right?
long end.